You've got a question.
Hi.
Hi.
I come from an area in London with a large Jewish population, and as I'm sure you'll be aware, there's been a rise in anti-Semitism lately. So what I wanted to ask is, bearing in mind people like Maureen Lipman recently saying she'd consider leaving Europe due to the rise in anti-Semitism, and sort of the news of an exodus of Jews from Europe after the Paris attacks, for example, what would you do as leader to ensure that Jews feel safe and welcomed in the UK?
I think what we have, particularly after the Paris attacks and that horror, a real sense of fear in many different communities. And I think what we need to do is lots of work to bring communities together, to help them to understand each other, to speak together, communities across intergenerational work, all of those kind of things. We actually have to make sure that people feel included, not pushed out, and people feel safe, and that's a balance to be struck. But we need to do both of those things, and what we need to do is really understanding.
Do you want to come back on
I
that?
appreciate the sentiment of that, and I agree with the idea of that, but sort of what would you actually do to make sure that happens? Because it's quite sort of it's the politest way possible, it's quite a vague answer.
Well, I think what we need to do is fund those kind of projects, get people together, make sure, and it's a broad thing, but we need to make sure people don't feel excluded from our society, and that people, we've got to balance, obviously, basic safety kind of proportions, but we also need to make sure people feel included, educated, supported, and that's really the key.